Hi, good afternoon to you. Thanks for clicking on to VOGAN'S Views in the USA for today. It's Sunday the 22nd, and we have got lots of weather to talk about, especially across the eastern flank of the country. While folks out west are enjoying some summer-like heat, 90s, even some 100s across the desert southwest. Certainly a day to get out there, enjoy it, slap on the sunscreen, and enjoy the good old outdoors. Certainly a very different story across the eastern flank of the country. We've been looking at a storm for the past week now, and all the models are now converged together in producing a big east coast nor'easter. And we're talking about multiple inches of rain up the eastern coastal plain, and as well as that, on the backside, we need to watch out for perhaps 1 to 2 feet. Yeah, that's not a mistake. 1 to 2 feet of snow anywhere in the mountains from West Virginia right up through western New York State. I'm concerned for power outages in a widespread area. Why is that? Well, if it was in the middle of winter, we wouldn't be concerned, but the problem is it's late April now. Therefore, after a record warm March, all those trees are fully leaved, and of course when you've got that heavy wet snow, you've got more area of coverage on the trees. That of course can tear those trees down, fall on the power lines, and of course it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out what happens when you've got that scenario taking place. But certainly another concern is even on the coastal parts exposed to that ocean, we're talking about perhaps 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, perhaps even in some places reporting gusts to hurricane force. We've got a very powerful system, folks, working its way up the coast over the course of today. Now, I'm going to show you the scenario. This is a graphic of the Weather Channel, AccuWeather first. This is basically a summary of the situation today. We've got the area of low pressure working up the coast. Plenty of moisture is getting pulled all the way from the Gulf Coast. Why is that? Well, we've got a negatively tilted trough. Bernie Reno explained in a video yesterday that when you've got a negatively tilted trough, the area of low pressure riding up the eastern flank of that trough will hook it northwestwards. As it does so, it's ingesting and injecting that moisture into the circulation, and as well as that, because of that cold dry air coming out of the northwest from Ontario, you've got a deepening of this area of low pressure. We've got the tropical moisture that is going to of course produce multiple inches of rain. The strong gusty winds going to make very, very hazardous conditions on the roads. On the back side of it, folks, we're talking about cold air getting fed down, and of course with the tropical moisture getting wrapped around, there's a good wrap around to that circulation with the moisture. You're going to be talking about heavy snow, perhaps 1 to 2 inches per hour, accompanied by thunder and lightning as well. But it's certainly going to be a very interesting scenario taking place. This is the current map of the Weather Channel, and you can see here the cold front, the moisture, the plume of moisture now starting to work its way up the eastern coast, and of course that is going to all come northwards up through DC, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Atlantic City, and all the way up through the tri-state area up into Boston eventually. But it's this area here, once that low starts to get towards South Jersey, that's where it's going to start to tap more of that cold air from Ontario. That is going to increase and deepen the area of low pressure. As the low pressure deepens, it's going to then crank up those winds as well. It is going to be a noteworthy storm, that is for sure here. But if I scroll through the graphics here, you can see here, this is off, like I say, this is off the Weather Channel website, weather.com. Check that out, and you can see all the various graphics that are available to you for free. Of course, you're not having to pay for this. And you can see here, this is a graphic for the forecast rain amounts right through Monday morning. Look at that there, 4+ inches locally, widely 2 to 3 inches of rain. And that is incorporating many millions of people all the way from well, basically from Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, all the way up the coastal plain, through all the big cities as well. You're talking about many millions of people here. With the combination of the heavy rain, strong winds, I'm concerned about widespread major power outages. Wouldn't be surprised, 1 to 2 million people by tomorrow morning at dawn is without power from this storm system. You can see here, this is off again the Weather Channel. You can see here the forecast snow amounts that are predicted. Certainly anywhere from the West Virginia mountains up through the parts of western Pennsylvania up in the mountains, and of course just south of Buffalo we could be looking at 2 feet of snow from this. So it really is quite remarkable to see that so late in the season. Here's the storm winds predicted. You can see here the onshore winds, the strongest area of winds up and down the mid-Atlantic and northeast coast as well. So we've got a very perfect scenario taking place here. This is the current winds here of these graphics here. Also, you can note as well, if you've got yourself or friends are travelling today, certainly not the best days to travel, but if you are, please check your carrier for the latest information. You are guaranteed that once this band of precipitation starts to work up through the big cities, those airport delays are going to start to mount up, unfortunately. Current temperatures, you're talking about mild 50s up and down the eastern, the I-95 corridor at the moment. But notice the cold air over Michigan, 26 at Alpena, and 34 up in Sault Ste. Marie. You've got all that cold air here ready to get tapped as that circulation meets the tri-state area. It's going to start to wrap in and pull that cold air down from Ontario. That's going to feed those heavy snows, but it's that tropical, deep tropical moisture that's going to get wrapped right around the circulation, and of course the emergence with cold air is going to kick up those heavy snows. But we've got a very, very interesting scenario going to be taking place. The National Weather Service in State College, Pennsylvania was concerned about 1 to 2 inch rates per hour of snowfall combined with thunder snow. Could be even talking about in the mountainous regions here, looking at blizzard conditions as well, with gale force winds and that heavy snowfall. But if you're travelling tonight, please take care out there, because you're going to be talking about very heavy torrential wind-driven rain along the coast, and say head 50 to 100 miles to the west. And any mountainous region, you could be talking about snow. Wouldn't be surprised either that later into tomorrow morning, as that low pushes through, you could be even seeing some rain turn over to snow in areas such as perhaps northwest Jersey, for example, up in the mountains, up through the western parts of Connecticut, Massachusetts as well. But certainly you're talking about the Tug Hill Plateau, down through Garrett County, Maryland, and of course right down across the western part, over the Appalachian Mountains of western Pennsylvania, down through Maryland, like I say, and into West Virginia. You're talking about a big snowstorm, the biggest snowstorm of 2012. That's how significant it is. It's also been a very warm and quiet winter. So this is going to hit you like a ton of bricks probably, because you're just simply not familiar with this type of weather. But keep checking back. I'm going to continue to keep you posted throughout the day as to the very latest of this storm situation. And stay safe out there, folks. Bye-bye.